Hello, you're watching VNA News and now headlines.
Vietnam hosts final round of global cybersecurity contest. Ho Chi Minh City promotes sales of ethanol gasoline. Rice export to surpass yearly target.
Vice President of the Vietnam for the Land Front Central Committee, Lê Bá Trinh, paid a visit and delivered Christmas greetings to the Diocese of Phu Quoc in the southern province of Bình Dương on December 19th. The Front Vice President conveyed his best wishes to Catholic dignitaries and followers on the occasion of their most significant event, hailing contributions made by diocese and followers to local social welfare and improvement of living conditions. He said he hopes the diocese will keep the work up and continue the patriotic emulation movements, thus contributing to the nation's development and solidarity. For his part, Bishop of the Phu Quoc Diocese, Joseph Nguyễn Tấn Tước, thanked the Vietnam for the Land Front for their care for the Catholic followers, saying that the parishioners are joining hands to build Bình Dương province as a prosperous locality. Over the past 5 years, under the guidance and leadership of the Committee for Solidarity of Vietnam and the Vietnam for the Land Front, Catholic followers in the province have enthusiastically responded to patriotic movements, including economic development, education promotion, and environmental protection, among others. The People's Committee of Kiên Giang Province has announced Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng decision to establish the Phu Quoc Economic Zone Management Board.
Under the decision, the board will be managed by the committee, performing the functions of state management for the Phu Quoc Economic Zone. The board will provide public and other support services related to investment and production activities in the economic zone. The Provincial People's Committee asks agencies to help the island deal with ground compensation and clearance in an aim to hasten land transfer. Phu Quoc is facing a budget deficiency and a shortage in space for residents' resettlement. The 59-hectare economic zone, established in 2013, includes an industrial area, an urban and residential areas, as well as an administrative area, covering the entire area of Phu Quoc Island District.
The final round of an annual global cybersecurity contest, the White Hat Grand Prix, kicked off in Hanoi on December 19th. More details coming up next.
This is the first time Vietnam hosted such a large-scale international cybersecurity competition. After the qualifying round, top 10 teams from the US, Poland, Canada, Taiwan, Russia, Ukraine, and Vietnam made it to the final round.
The contest is aimed at raising the quantity and improving the quality of cybersecurity workers in Vietnam and the world at large. This contributes to the development of human resources in the field. The contest is of high quality and very meaningful. It helps connect the government and community in joining hands to develop human resources for the country's information security sector.
Themed Hello Vietnam, the contest provides a chance for the youngsters from Vietnam and the world to meet and exchange experience in cybersecurity. At the final round, the top 10 teams will participate in an 8-hour online contest under the format of attack defense.
Petron containing 5% of ethanol will be sold at all fueling stations in Ho Chi Minh City beginning on December 31st, despite sluggish sales of ethanol gasoline in the last 12 months. The city is among 7 localities, including Hanoi, Hải Phòng, Đà Nẵng, Cần Thơ, and the provinces of Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu and Quảng Ngãi, that are implementing the pilot supply of E5 ethanol blended petrol. Lê Ngọc Đào, Deputy Director of the Municipal Department of Industry and Trade, said the city had 9 fuel wholesalers with 6 general agents and 518 retail petrol stations. 58 petrol stations began selling E5 ethanol blended petrol since last November, and the number rose to 262 by the end of the month, or 50.57% of total pension stations in the city, the official said. However, sales of E5 fuel remain low, accounting for only 4.2% of the total pension sales in the city. Consumers' consumption habits, fuel differences in price, and low profits of distributors were the main factors that contributed to the low sales of biofuel. Vietnam's rice export is likely to exceed the target set for 2015 by 200,000 to 300,000 tons, hitting around 6.5 million tons for the year. More details coming up next.
According to the Vietnam Food Association, the country had shipped 5.8 million tons of rice by the end of November, and the figure for December is forecast to reach about 700,000 tons. Additionally, rice exported through unofficial channels across borders is estimated at 1.6 to 1.9 million tons, which is expected to lift the yearly exports through both official and unofficial channels to about 8 million tons. Vietnamese rice exporters have recently won bids to supply 450 tons of rice to the Philippines and 1 million tons of rice to Indonesia, helping raise the price of rice in the domestic market. Vietnam has around 4.1 million hectares of rice paddies, 53% of which are concentrated across the Mekong Delta. In 2014, the country exported 6.3 million tons of the 45 million tons it produced, making it the world's third largest rice exporter after India and Thailand. Asia maintained its positions as Vietnam's biggest rice importer, despite an annual decline of 11.2% in the market share to 71.6%. Africa, Australia, and Europe showed greater demand for Vietnamese rice, with higher imports recorded during the period.
And now, let's visit Quoc, where an immense network of underground tunnels was developed during the war. Known as the legendary Ironland, Quoc has now become an attractive tourist site. It is luring more foreign visitors with tours combining visiting tunnels and experiencing local people's life.
For these Singaporean tourists, visiting underground tunnels along with farming, gardening and cooking as local people do, an interesting experience. These activities are part of a homestay service that Quoc offers to attract foreign visitors.
It's very interesting because the farmer, he explained to us about what's the different purposes of each ingredient, and usually we eat it at restaurants, but now I know the source of it and what's the different properties. Yeah, so I think it's a very good experience.
Every day, visitors travel from Ho Chi Minh City to Quoc, 40 kilometers northwest of the city. During peak time, homestay tours attract as many as 1,000 tourists. Apart from discovering the historical land and its people, visitors can also take part in preparing local dishes.
I learned how to pick up and choose those fragrance leaf for ingredients, and also I understand all the vegetables, different kind of vegetables, and like mushroom.
Our company would like to bring visitors something different from others. The number of tourists we serve keep increasing.
The historic Quoc tunnels can surprise anyone who visits them. During the fierce time of war, local people and soldiers miraculously lived and fought for national liberation from the intricate network of underground tunnels. The combination of visits to the historical tunnels and homestay experience is a new service, making the Ironland more popular, especially among foreign visitors.
The Cham ethnic minority group has preserved many traditional cultural rituals, typically praying for rain festival. It not only creates space for the Cham people to join exchanges, but also pray for favorable weather and bumper crops. The Cham ethnic minority group has a population of about 130,000, mainly living in the southern central provinces of Ninh Thuận, Bình Thuận, Bình Định, Phú Yên, and southern provinces of An Giang, Đồng Nai, Tây Ninh, and Ho Chi Minh City. Relying on wet rice farming, the Cham group has maintained such traditional rituals as the new rice welcoming, worshipping for tutelary gods, and praying for rain. Recently, the Praying for Rain festival has been reenacted at the Vietnam National Village for Ethnic, Cultural and Tourism. Derived from prolonged droughts, which are generally believed to cause poor harvests, the Cham people conduct the ritual annually with the hope to pray for the rain.
Our cultivation practice largely depends on the nature. We can do nothing without water. So villagers have to prepare offerings to thank to God for blessing them with favorable weather.
We have to pray for rain because we can't cultivate without water. The ritual is locally conducted in the second lunar month.
Offerings for the ceremony are arranged on a colorful etchant made from false stumps of bombas ceiba trees.
The offerings include a big head, 2 cocks, 2 wild jars, woks, and a cup of rice. All laid on an S-ray, glued on a nail pole, which is designed in the form of wings of the Katang bird, a symbol of peace in Cham people's beliefs.
The village's patriarch go first, followed by 2 village shamans called Oi Kwai and village students. All of them go around the etchant before the ceremony taking place. The village's patriarch represents the villagers to express their wishes to the gods and toss 2 coins to predict whether the gods accept their request or not. If the 2 coins appear with different faces, it means the gods accept the request. After that, a shaman with his hand spilling the rice and alcohol to all the west, north, east and south directions to invite the gods to join the celebration with the villagers. Local women hold bunches of bamboo strings and stroke them in the air in order to make the sound of wind. Meanwhile, men beating katong drums and gongs to create the sound of thunder. This comes to the end of the ritual. Everyone sips a shared cup of alcohol, celebrating for a year of good weather and bumper crops. The Praying for Rain festival is an inseparable part of the Cham people's daily life. It not only conveys the message for a year of favorable national conditions and good harvests, but through which their solidarity is vibrantly expressed. And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye for now.